Namaste and hello everyone. My name is Shivika and I am the founder CEO of Avika Limited. In today's video, we will be talking about the post-study work visa or the graduate visa in the UK and whether or not the UK government is planning to close the visa or reduce the number of months given to international students in order to apply for jobs. These are the things that we will be talking about throughout the video, but to begin with, I'm going to start discussing what the visa is actually for all you new applicants or international students moving to the UK. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. What exactly is the post-study work visa or the graduate visa? UK announced in June 2021 that international students who come to the UK to study in UK universities will now be given 24 months or 2 years to find job or work in the UK. This means that any international student who comes to the UK to study a bachelor's degree or a master's degree and also a PhD or a doctoral degree is given 2 years or 3 years in the case of a PhD to look for jobs, work in different kinds of roles, or be self-employed. The eligibility really is that you need to be on the Tier 4 visa, which is the UK student visa. And once you finish your studies successfully, you need to have completed your course successfully in order to apply for the post-study work visa. What really is the application fee and how much does it cost to apply for the post-study work visa? The application fee in itself is an amount of £715, that's a one-time payment. And then there is health surcharge. The health surcharge allows you to avail the NHS services within the UK and you pay the health surcharge for 2 years. For the first year you pay £624 and for the second year you pay £624 and the amount goes together. So when you're applying, in the first go, you pay both your application fee and 2 years of health surcharge. Now, one point that I would like to make over here is that the post-study work visa does not give you a guarantee of a job. Most students come and ask me whether I will get a job in the post-study work visa. The answer to that is that the post-study work visa actually gives you 2 years. It gives you the time to find a job or probably work in a part-time role. And if you're lucky enough to work in a company that is happy to work for you for the next 2 years or eventually ready to sponsor you. But the post-study work visa actually is a time period given to you to look for a job. So anyone who feels that 2 years you will land a job with a sponsored company, that is something that you might want to reconsider and actually research in advance before you make that decision, because it's actually a time frame given to you to either work part-time roles or to find a job and then eventually be sponsored if that is the case with that. Two things that you need to know in this. The post-study work visa allows you to bring in dependents as long as your dependents came with you during your study visa. So for instance, if you brought in with yourself your partner or your kids during your student visa as a bachelor student in UK university or a master student or a PhD student, you can eventually apply for a dependent visa for your partner or your kids when you apply for your post-study work visa. Now that is one thing. The second thing to note over here is that when you do apply for the post-study work visa, any person, any student who has successfully completed the course is eligible to apply and most likely gets the visa to stay back and work in one of the UK companies. Keeping this in mind, let's move forward to what really is the problem that is taking place in the UK at the moment and why is there a debate around closing the number of applications that are applying for a post-study work visa or even reducing them, if not closing the entire process altogether. The Secretary of State for the Home Department, Suella Braverman, has recently proposed, and I'm sure you must have heard the name recently in the news when you have seen the news of reducing the number of international students who are receiving the graduate visa. She recently proposed that the number of students who are receiving the graduate visa should be reduced. And also the number of students who can bring in dependents with them should now be reduced further. The reason behind that is that there are a lot of students, a lot of international students, especially coming from India, Nigeria, and China, who have been bringing in dependents with them. So dependents in numbers of 4, 5, 6, imagine that. According to her, international students are taking admissions in low-ranking or low-budget universities and then bringing in dependents with them, not completing their courses and working on low-skilled jobs, which is not really helping grow the UK economy. In fact, MP Nadine Jahavi has clearly pointed out that how important international students are to the UK economy, but completely agrees with Suela Braverman on the fact that international students are using this as a backdoor immigration and then bringing in dependents in numbers of 5 and 6, which is completely unfair. So, to put some numbers in place and actually look at the facts that are taking place, in the year ending June 2022, there were about 486,868 sponsored visas that were given out, the student sponsored visas, and 81,000 dependent visas. So if we compare it to year 2019, 13,664 visas were given to dependents. And you can clearly see the hike in the number of dependent visas that have been issued between 2020 and 2022, and how the government in the UK has been considering this as a problem, because the number of students coming into the country is not really a problem, but the problem here is students bringing in dependents in numbers of 4, 5, 6 and using it as a means to come into the country and then leave their degrees or not pursue their degrees and eventually doing low skilled jobs. So to summarize, what's really going to happen, and should you be worried about your status in the country, and should you be applying to UK universities for further studies, I would advise that so far there has been nothing set, there has been nothing finalized. It's still a proposal and it still needs to be passed in the parliament before there are any changes or any announcements made. If you are a current student, you do not need to be worried, because any changes that will be coming with regards to the graduate route will only be affecting students in the future, not the students who are currently in universities inside the UK. And if you are considering to apply to UK universities in order to pursue your further studies, then I would highly advise that you do it, because no announcement has been made as to say that this visa will be scrapped or you will not be allowed to stay back in the country for 2 years. I would still highly advise you to get your applications going and get your CAS number, and also be positive about the whole thing unless there is an announcement to be made. Yes, there will be changes made, but nothing has been finalized yet. If you do have any further questions about the post-study work visa or how to apply, what to do, and things that you might not be sure of, do drop your questions in the comments below. And if I can help you personally, then you can also arrange a one-to-one call and I'll be happy to help you out. I hope you found this video useful. If you know someone who is looking to apply to UK universities and needs some guidance or needs some positive light in order to understand what's really happening, make sure to share the video with them so they can be better prepared and they are well aware of what's really happening. Do subscribe to the channel, because that really helps me and motivates me to work more, research more, and give out even more useful information to each one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and if you still have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Thank you.